Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back. And I wanted to just come down here and talk about Porsha Williams. We're probably going to go live either tomorrow or Wednesday um, because I want to also discuss this more into detail um, and talk about some of the audio, the clips that have hit the internet. I'm posting this video because I really want to show y'all the pictures, and I'm not able to really post the pictures like I want to when I go live because I don't go live from my laptop. So, Porsha is a kiki. Porsha Williams is a kiki to me. When I tell you, I don't know what type of fantasy Porsha lives in, but it's definitely Porsha lives in her own world. Girl, it's Porsha's world, and we just living in it. So this is an exclusive. Porsha Williams speaks out in first interview since finalizing her nightmare divorce from Simon Guobadia. If I were Bravo, if I were truly original, if I were NBC Universal, I would be actually livid, if we're going to be honest. Because from what I saw, Porsha did like a 20-minute interview. I didn't listen to the whole interview, and I'm not. I didn't even read this whole article. I almost finished reading it in its entirety, but I was like, girl, I don't really care what Porsha got to say. Girl. Um, Porsha has done like a 20 minute, I think it was like 17 minutes and 17 seconds, I think, the interview that she did with People. Um, and of course, this write up that they produced, I'm sure, based off of the interview. For Porsha to go down to People and give an exclusive about her marriage when that would be the whole purpose of her being on reality TV. Girl, like I would feel some type of way. If I were a boss at NBC Universal and I looked up in the things that you should have been discussing throughout the season about your marriage or whatever, of course you couldn't talk about your marriage being finalized because it wasn't finalized. But the things that should have been discussed on the reality show that we're probably paying you 1.6 to $2 million to talk about, I would expect that to be a big topic of conversation. But here we are. I'm just going to read some of this. In the 1995 movie Waiting to Excel, a heartbroken, fed up Bernadine Harris, played by Angela Bassett, gets revenge on her deceitful husband and releases her pain by piling his wardrobe into the back of his luxury car before dousing it in all dousing it all in lighter fluid and setting it ablaze. With the flames growing behind her, she lights a cigarette and walks away with her head held high. It's been 30 years since that iconic scene, but for the Real Housewives of Atlanta's Porsha Williams, it's a message of rage and resilience couldn't be more relevant. As she posed for People's recreation of that moment in more memorable images from the film on May the 16th, in her hometown of Atlanta, she was processing her own feelings of betrayal and loss in real time. I didn't expect today to be emotional, she says on set, but the moment I sat down at the vanity and started brushing my hair, just like Angela in the movie, it hit me. I've prettied up the ugly in my life too, when it wasn't so pretty, and I'm done doing that. Girl, so let me. Portia is nuts. Say. So I want to give y'all a background for those who don't know what this moment of waiting to excel is about. First I want to put up some of the pictures that Porsha has recreated um, from one of Angela Bassett's probably one of her most known roles, one of her most, as they said, most iconic roles. Um, these are just some of the pictures that they have taken or they took um, recreating, Angela Bassett's role as Bernadine. And I'm going to keep putting these pictures up as I speak. So let me just give y'all a quick breakdown of Bernadine's character. So Bernadine, who again was played by Angela Bassett, she is a woman who was pretty much a mattress, a maid, and a mule. Okay. She was her lover and a secretary. She was her husband's lover and secretary, working every day of the week. Was that the job when no one else was there, helping you get on your feet? 11 years out of my life. And you can leave me at the drop of a dime. Yes, swallow my tears, stood by your side. I should have left you 1,000 times. So Bernadine was married to a man. And this man left her for his co-worker, a woman who kept his books. But her husband left Bernadine for her co-worker. Let me repeat it again. Bernadine's husband left her for her co-worker. Porsha walked into her co-worker's home and walked out with her husband and her head astray. Porsha walked into her co-worker's home and walked out with her co-worker's husband and her Hennessy. So I'm confused, really confused on how Porsha has created this character of Angela Bassett's when, if we're going to be honest, this is why I need a Patreon. If we're going to be honest, the roles that probably would have better fit Porsha would have been the role of Whitney Houston's. Her character was named Savannah. Savannah was a woman who was having an affair with a married man. Or she could have played Leda Roshan's character, which was Robin. Baby, when I say baby, Layla was bad, baby. Layla was one of the girls, of the girls. Baby, because nobody played with Layla at all. Please don't get it. Layla still is a pretty woman. She's just an older pretty woman now. But back in the day, baby, when I tell you Layla was one of the girls, girl, Layla was one of the girls of the girls. So, anyways, Layla Roshan's character, she played a girl named Robin. Robin was, in the words of Phaedra Parks, the Princess of Thoughtlandia. Is that what Phaedra called it? Princess of Thoughtland? Or Princess of Thoughtlandia? Robin was a single woman, and she was going to get it how she lived, and she was going to sleep with who she wanted to sleep with, you know? Um, and it was what it was. I just feel like maybe those two characters would have been a better fit for Porsha. But the simple fact that Dave, Quinn, people, and Porsha have really come out and tried to push this story of strength, courage, and wisdom, girl, that Porsha is just this woman who was just, fooled by this man and played his lover and his secretary. And she is this woman of resilience, and she is picking herself up by her bootstraps and starting over, and having to fight for what's hers. Porsha has created her own world. She has. Just weeks after the shoot, following an intense legal battle, Williams' divorce from Simon Guobadia was finalized on June the 11th by a Georgia judge. Guobadia, 61, appeared on Zoom from his native Nigeria, where he was deported to from the US because of immigration violations, including bank and credit card fraud. You go through different stages, says Williams, 44, who returned to the Bravo show this season after a 3 year hiatus. You have that anger, you have that moment where you have to fight for your life in a court situation. And then toward the end, you have the clarity where you realize you are still blessed, your family is by your side, and your child is protected. There's a whole new life that you can start. The two met through Gubadia's ex, who also appeared on Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's not how they met. They didn't meet through Gubadia's ex. They met because Fallon was Porsha's friend on the show. Even if they were not friends in real life, they were friends on the show. They were co-workers. And Fallon invited Porsha into her home. And then Fallon and Simon end up getting a divorce. And then we looked up and Porsha was with Simon just like that. And then we looked up again and girl, she was doing the Nigerian electric slide all across the country. That's what happened. So don't try to just reduce it down to the two met through Gubadia's ex, who also appeared on RHOA. Tell it in detail. She and Gubadia went public with their relationship on Instagram in 2021 and announced their engagement just 1 month after. Girl. They celebrated their union with not one but two weddings in November 2022, a traditional Nigerian ceremony honoring Simon's heritage, followed by a lavish American celebration in Atlanta. I'm a hopeless romantic. Once I decide to be with you, I dedicate everything to you, she says. And Simon matched my energy. He's very warm. He loves spending time with me. We were freaking extra. If we wanted to fly out the country every weekend or post on Instagram together about how much we loved each other, he was down. He also provided Williams with what she thought was a safety net, giving their 17-year age difference. I've been hurt really bad in different situations. I felt defenseless. I've been lied to. I've been asked to change who I am and not have felt heard. But Simon, he was settled in his life, and the biggest thing he used to stress to me was how he had grown. He was very upfront about the things he did in his past relationships and how he had worked on himself. I felt very protected by him. I felt like I met someone I could trust. The sense of security was short lived after she uncovered what she calls complex issues with his legal status. Williams said she knew the relationship was headed down a dark road and she hired an immigration attorney in January 2024. Mm. She thought because of the 17-year age difference that Simon would provide her with some safety net. Girl. We had a real serious conversation because being a supportive wife, I wanted to deal with this head on, says Williams. I got it spelled out completely by an attorney who had been in immigration for 30 years. And my conclusion was, I don't want you to travel. I begged for him not to leave the country. That was not honored. Girl. It says that Williams insists there was no infidelity on either side. There were some old habits, some desires he wanted to accomplish outside of family, and I think that he could possibly choose those things over me. That part took over in the end. I don't know that person, girl. I don't know what Porsche talking about. I'm not reading all this mess. Girl, I'm not reading all this mess. It goes on to basically say, let me just get to the part, girl. I'm not even going. Girl, she basically talks about how she had to break the news to her daughter that her and Simon were not going to be together anymore, and how she called him and I think she texted him But she tried to reach out to him, and he basically didn't return. She tried to reach out. She tried to reach out to him due to her daughter wanting to speak to him, and he basically didn't return. He didn't, communicate back. Girl, girl, this is a mess. Girl, and they went on to talk about what she got in the divorce. I think he has to pay. He has to pay the mortgage for 36 months. I had it right here. Girl, this is a mess. I'll tell you. Oh, here we go. Both Gubadia and Williams attended their final June the 9th court hearing remotely. Williams is filming season 4 of The Traitors in Scotland. Excuse me. After a long day of deliberations, the judge ruled in Williams' favor, upholding their prenup. Excuse me, I'm sorry, y'all. Granting her spousal support and allowing her the ability to stay in their home for 36 months, with Gubadia paying the mortgage and bills. He's also responsible for her legal fees and a lump sum payment as part of their settlement. Um, girl. Gubadia says he plans to appeal the ruling. This matter is far from over, he says. Girl, this is a long article. Girl, y'all can read it. I'm not reading all of that mess. Girl, what it comes down to is we're going to go live tomorrow because there's some audio that I want to listen to with y'all so we can kiki and laugh. But I did want to just come down here so I could post these pictures of this recreation of Angela Bassett's character. Girl, Porsha lives, it's like this fantasy that she has. And it's almost like comical to me. Portia has really told herself that in this story with Simon that she's the victim. When the fact of the matter is, if she wouldn't have been such in a rush to become the Maserati lady, the Maserati lady is the lady who, girl, let me just show y'all.
Excuse me, what do you do for a living?
What do you mean?
Like, what do you do for a living?
I'm married. Why?
Married? Oh.
If she wouldn't have been in a rush to be the Maserati lady and tell the people, oh, I work, I'm married, right? Then she would have known all of these things about Simon and his immigration status and all of that stuff. But when you walk into somebody's house and walk over with their husband in their Hennessy, girl, and then you are in a rush to get married because you really want to just be a kept woman, you quit all of your jobs, then this is what comes. Some people will say that Portia won in the end. Maybe so. It is what it is. All right, y'all, let's just go ahead and move on. All right, so Cardi B. Cardi B finally, my second album has a release date. So Cardi B is finally ready to move forward with her sophomore studio album. It took only 7 years. A few weeks ago, Cardi revealed she had submitted her finished album to the label on Monday. She approved it with the album art cover, release date, and title for the project, Am I the Drama? The superstar rapper posed with her leg kicked up while clutching oversized platform heels. A scavenging black crow swirled in the background. Her recently released song Outside appears to be a slight at Offset, as well as the lead single after dozens of pump fakes over the years. Although her previous release Up and WAP also made the final cut. The track is already doing numbers on streaming platforms, which should set up the album for a nice rollout. The last time Cardi dropped an album, Migos was still a group and she didn't have any kids. And her label, home of Atlantic Records, had a completely different makeup. Am I the Drama is scheduled to drop on September the 19th. A sizable gain on Offset um, on the motion. Wait, a sizable gain on Offset in the motion department. Anyway, so listen. I saw some people upset. A lot of people, there's a big conversation online about her adding WAP and Up to the album. I did think, I'm not gonna lie, girl, I did think that was kind of strange, but I heard that it's kind of like a numbers game that Cardi and her team are doing. Um, it is what it is. Do I think it's weird that she's adding WAP and Up to an album? Yes, I absolutely do. Um, but at the end of the day, you know, and I will say this much: I downloaded the album. Well, not down. You know how like you can download it, so when it comes up on Apple, it automatically downloads. So when I went to download the album, I think I noticed that it's the last two songs on the album. So I could see if maybe it was like the second or third song or something like that. And you're like, girl, why are you making a second or third song on your album? Two songs that came out so long ago. Girl, honestly, I don't care. Girl, she adds the songs on the album. She adds the songs on the album. If it's something that helps her with streaming numbers, then it helps her with streaming numbers. It is what it is, girl. If anything, the other girl should be doing the same thing. If we're gonna be honest. I don't care. Girl, Cardi's album is coming out. What did they say? September the 19th. And that's really what it is to me. Everything else, girl, I don't care. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so this is according to the Jasmine brand. So Antonio Brown seemingly flees the US amid attempted unaliving warrant. So Antonio Brown has reportedly took flight internationally amid his attempted M charge. The former NFL star hinted on Twitter X that he's left the country just days after reports surfaced of an arrest warrant issued against him in Miami for attempted M with a firearm. In a now a viral tweet, Brown wrote, "I'm out the country. Ain't no more child support. Tell your mama get a job." The warrant stems from an alleged altercation last month in which Brown claimed to be victim. The report suggests he may have become the aggressor after the initial threat ended, because basically he basically got jumped. But after it ended, he ran away and he came back with a pow pow and he got to blasting. I remember posing the question to the cousins, you know, I think it would be one thing if you were getting jumped and then in that exact moment, say you pulled out something out your wallet, out your pocket, and you got to blasting. I would see that as somewhat self-defense. But if the fight is over and you ran away and then you come back, I don't know. I'm not a judge. I don't know. But some people were saying that's not considered self-defense because it's over. Yeah, you got your ass whooped, maybe. Yeah, you got your ass monkey stomped. You got monkey stomped, but girl, it was over. So I don't know. With no sign of law enforcement tracking him down yet, and Brown implying he's not coming back, many are wondering if the case will move forward at all. Thoughts on AB's latest move? Girl, it is what it is, girl. It's sad. You know, I never knew A.B. Brown was this a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I remember the first time I even heard about him, it was a picture of him smiling. And I was like, ooh, who is this? They got a nice ass smile. You know, I'm a sucker for a smile. I was like, who is this with this nice ass smile? And then I found out, girl, he is nuts. Girl, one, he's straight. Girl, two, girl, one, he's straight. And then two, girl, he's nuts. Absolutely not. Okay. Um, I guess you know they'll figure out what to do with him if they can find him. Girl, he might be over there in Bali. Girl, as far as I'm concerned, girl, he probably in Miami somewhere. Okay, on the other side of town. Hmm. Anyways, y'all. Again, we'll probably be going live tomorrow so we can kick in and laugh. I'll let you guys know, of course. Just look out if you see this video before tomorrow. Just look out for the community tab. Or as I usually do, I will put up a, what is it called when you set the timer? I'll set the timer so you know that the live is about to happen. All right, I will talk to y'all guys later. I'm about to watch. Y'all know I've been watching. Girl, look, girl, just a quick one too. Just a quick one. Girl, y'all know, girl, something y'all gonna learn new about me today. So I'm not into caving at all. Okay, but my first time, so I don't know why it popped up on my YouTube recommendations. It was a story of this guy who basically was trapped in a cave and they could not get him out. Long story short, I think it's called the Nutty Putty story. You can find it on YouTube. Um, to the point where he was stuck and he died in the cave and they had to leave his body there because there was no way that they could remove his body. So I just love watching stories of people going caving. I think it's the weirdest shit in the world, but I love watching the stories. Um, so that's what I do sometimes. I just sit here and I watch YouTube and I just watch these stories of these people going caving and being rescued sometimes, not being rescued. Goes this one story of this man who was his flashlight went out and he couldn't see anything. This man was trapped in a cave for 34 days. He lived. He lived 34 days. Um, but yeah, some of these stories are absolutely insane. But you know what the gag is? Girl, this is a gag. Girl, y'all already know what color everybody. Every time somebody die, they ain't. Girl, it's no shade. Girl, every time somebody die, girl, oh, girl, you know it's always a story about. I said, girl, y'all girls love going in the cave. Not hiking, girl, caving. Hiking is different, girl. You know what I'm saying? Caving, girl. These people be in these spots where they're like 18 inches wide, and they're just like wiggling their body, just trying to discover something. And then sometimes these people don't know the route that they're possibly taking, and then they get stuck. And then sometimes it takes days for people to finally get them out, and then sometimes it takes days to get them out and they're dead. It's a mess. So child, I'm about to sit here after I get this video edited and put up. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna watch me a few more stories of these people and they silly asses going in these caves. Shout out to everybody who go cave and say y'all asses out of them caves. Girl, I don't understand. This one lady, she went diving, she went caving with her daughter and she died. She got stuck. It's crazy. Baby, it's crazy. Anyways, all right, I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good day. Bye, y'all.